Where are you watching from? Let us know in the comments. Foxy Cheating Tales. All right, this is going to be a long story, so stay with me. Let me tell you about a situation that involved love, lies, and the perfect revenge. Okay, this is going to be a long story, so bear with me. When I was a naive 24-year-old, met a charming and very smart and way older man. We call him Jake for the story. His sister is Dana, and I'm Gina. Now to the story. Jake was 42, recently divorced, or so he told me, and got a kid that he would see the weekends. We meet online through a poetry website where both of us used to write. He was very aloof and stern on his comments and not very popular on the website because he used to always come off like an arrogant prick. But I really liked his poems regardless of his personality, and that's how it began. I commented on one, and he instantly PM'd back praising my writing and asked me if we could collaborate on a duet together. I've already done it 1,000 times with a few friends and people on the site that I respected, so I said sure. So long story short, we met on Hotmail Messenger. This was nearly 11 years ago, kids, so no WhatsApp. Although we did chat on FB too. This will come relevant later. Long story short, we instantly connected. He was funny, handsome, and really sweet underneath all his bravado. And his dark sense of humor was right up my alley. We spent months pulling all-nighters just talking and writing together. Not humble bragging, but I was pretty popular on the site because I won a few awards, so by association, he became popular too. People started reading Jake's poems and commented, and obviously he got a huge head about it, but I digress. Our relationship became more serious after he confessed that he was falling for me, and I was smitten. So I went along with it. We talked about my recent breakup, and he assured me that he would never lie to me because of course, he used that, witch of his ex-wife cheat on him, and he was devastated until he met me. I was shocked for how bad her ex was, but assured him that I was all in. And I meant that. One important detail about our turbulent romance is that he was in South America, he's from there, and I was still living in Italy, in my hometown. So after almost 2 years of excuses for how tied up on work he was, I decided to surprise him with a visit. I bought my ticket, and it literally was like a dream. He picked me up, we kiss, hug, and he took me to his beach house, which would have been my first red flag, but I was dumb, young, and in love. Saying that it would be so much easier and fun for me doing touristy stuff on a beach port than staying in his suburbs house with no car. Because I told him in such a short notice that he didn't have the time nor the means to take time off, which again, blatant lie because he was one of the partners of the company. But again, I bought it and off I went on my own almost for the entire week that I was there. He only spent one night with me, and the rest of the week just picked me up from whatever it was that I ended up wandering, and we hang out for a few hours, have sex, and then he just drops me off on the house. I know that most of you are thinking, come on, OP, just get your head out off your arse and realize what a bunch of BS that is. And believe me, now writing this, I realized how much of an idiot I was. But it gets better. The day before I have to get back to Italy, he took me to dinner with his 6-year-old son and his sister. I was super happy to meet his family and son, but got caught off guard when he just introduced me as his friend from Italy dropping on town for tourists. Her sister was super sweet, albeit a bit awkward, and his son was adorable. We ate, talked, and off we went. He picked me up first thing in the morning and dropped me off in the airport. Now that you got the full story, I'll get to the good part. 2 days later, and still a bit jet-lagged, I got a very interesting email. From his sister Dana. Her email was short and very simple. Dear Gina, I know that you might think I was weird and maybe a bit rude when we met, but it was only because I was tricked by Jay to join the dinner with his kid. He never mentioned that you guys were dating, but after confronting Jake, he confessed and begged not to tell anyone, or his marriage will be ruined. But you're such a sweet and young girl that doesn't deserve his deceive. Jake is still married and never left their home. Don't take just my word for it. And Dana sent me pictures of his real FB profile and surprise. The perfect little family. I thanked her and shut down my computer. I was devastated. I really thought Jake was the love of my life and was seriously considering moving there. I spent all night crying and drinking wine until I get myself the worst migraine. But the heartbreak lasted about 12 hours. At 4 a.m., I got up, shower, make a pot of fresh coffee, and started planning my revenge. I was hurt, yes, but also so angry that he not only deceived me, but dragged his sister and his innocent child in his lie. I was at the other side of the world and I didn't have the money to pay someone to kick his arse or egg his car. But as my Sicilian father would said to me, if someone slaps you, don't turn the other cheek. Cut off their fucking hand. And so I did. Cue my sweet revenge. I sat down on my desk and turned on the computer and log in his Hotmail. I didn't have the password, but I knew him well enough to answer his 3 security questions on the section, Forgot Password. 1, 2, 3, bum baby. I'm in and holy shitty. This arrogant piece of human crap was not only dating me, but other 2 girls. I quickly logged on to his FB too because he had everything linked, the naivety. So I quickly changed all his passwords to I'm a prick and discovered that his personal email was also connected to his work account. I dug through his emails for 2 hours. This idiot never erased anything, so he had more than 5,000 emails. Until I found something very interesting, the girls he was also seeing and their very hot email exchanges. Dick pics included. So what did I do? You guessed, I crafted a very lengthy and explicit email with pics and chat logs attached confessing to Jake's wife, posting as him obviously, begging for forgiveness and declaring how much of shitty person I was, and as a proof of my willingness to change and transparency was sending this email to the girls too. But that I did it only because I was a closeted gay and thought that being a player would help me forget how much I really loved guys. That I was sick of pretending and hoped she could move on and maybe be friends. But not only to them, I fucking copied his entire list of contacts, including the CEO and partners of the company he worked, his parents and Dee, of course. This email was perfection. All the pictures and chats, myself included, he ever exchanged with any other women. I copied myself on the list, obviously as a countermeasure, and move on to the part 2 of my plan. I changed all of his FB and declaring that I was so relieved that people finally knew who was I. The pride flag was his new wall picture, and his profile picture was a photoshopped picture of 2 guys kissing. I created 5 different accounts on gay websites with all his info, included his phone number, and started to chat with a bunch of guys until out of nowhere, this guy sent me, oh better yet, he sent Jake a message. Tony was his old uni friend that had always been secretly lusting for him for years, and although I felt bad for this later, I set up a date. Part 3 of my plan. A week after this massive internet blowout, and his family and friends angrily calling him all sorts of names, and getting fired because his bosses didn't want the bad press. So Jake, trying to make amends with his family and friends, make a BBQ for his B-Day. But I would have paid 1 year worth of salary just to see his face and his guests when in the middle of their celebration, Tony appeared with a bottle of champagne and a bag full of lube and sex toys to celebrate privately as I asked. Apparently there was a huge fight and everyone left Jake, flustered and angry, crying because some psycho wanted to ruin his life. I blocked him and forgot about everything until 6 months ago when he out of the blue sent me a message on Instagram asking me why I disappear and didn't support him when he was on his lowest. And oh boy, the satisfaction I felt when I only replied back. Sorry, Jake, but I think everything you got was karma for all the lies and time wasted you feed me. Good luck, oh, and BTW, it was always me. I then blocked him and made my account private. Jake did try to call a few mutual friends to try to get them to give him my number, but they ignore him. They also got the infamous email. So yeah, I got my revenge and I was worth every single hour. I know, I'm effing petty edit one. And for those who think making him appear gay was wrong of me, let me tell you that it was only because of his very machismo attitude and homophobic personality. And because sadly for most Latin males, there's nothing worse than gay people. I am 100% with the LGBTQ+ community and love and support them dearly. Edit 2. Wow, okay, let me clarify a few points so all the people on the back can put down the pitchforks. I never outed Tony. He was very much outside the closet since he was 12 years old, and on said BBQ he was never beaten, abused, or in danger. The blowout in the fight was Jake's family and friends, blowing up at him. Tony left safely as soon as he realized the setup. 11 years later, he's happily married and with a beautiful child and lives in Europe. Can't say which country, but just know he's happy and we're still FB friends. I apologized to him a few weeks after the BBQ, and although he was hurt, he forgave me and even laughed at all the things I showed him. Edit 3 and last. I acknowledge that what I did wasn't much better that he did to me. I was selfish, reckless, and stupid. And I did felt bad for it. And actually, after all that blown, I reached to Tony and apologized to him for dragging him on my petty revenge. He was upset, but after hearing my side, he was glad I did. He only wished I was upfront with him. We didn't end it like BFF, but he's still my friend on FB and always sent me updates on his life. And to clarify a few points, one, I'm half Italian, half Latina. That's why I'm fluent in both Spanish and Italian. 2, we meet in a Spanish poetry website. 3, the mutual friends I talked about are a few friends that lived in South America and wrote on the site with us. I seriously didn't know this would blow out like this, so I'm not responding anymore. Only saying that this is a memory from one of the most painful times in my life. So it's not fiction, not BS for karma, or nothing. This is a memory from a person I'm not anymore. Thanks for reading in peace. Like what you heard? Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe for more Foxy cheating tales.